Before we get into how neurologically focused chiropractic care can influence the immune system, I want to take a moment to talk about ear infections, specifically acute otitis media or AOM. Research shows that ear infections are incredibly common in children. In fact, about 5 out of every 6 children, roughly 83%, will experience at least one ear infection by their 3rd birthday. So for many families, this is something they're dealing with very early on. Now when we look at how ear infections are typically treated, the data is really eye-opening. A large retrospective study that examined over 2.1 million cases of acute otitis media between 2005 and 2019 found that nearly 78% of these episodes were treated with antibiotics within the first 3 days of diagnosis. So what's important to understand is that the same study also noted something concerning. Even though research and clinical guidelines support a watchful waiting approach for uncomplicated ear infections, meaning not prescribing antibiotics right away, most clinicians continue to prescribe antibiotics immediately, and this pattern didn't really change over time. And more research reinforces this. While many cases of acute otitis media are known to resolve on their own without antibiotics, antibiotics are still being prescribed in the majority of cases. Perhaps the most striking statistic comes from a 2021 data analysis of U.S. children under the age of 5. It found that by the time children reach age 5, nearly 94% have received at least one antibiotic prescription. So when you take a step back and look at all of this together, it raises an important question. If ear infections are so common, if many resolve naturally, and if antibiotics are being used at such high rates, what else should we do? What else should we be paying attention to? And then that brings us to the next part of the conversation, how the nervous system and the immune system work together, and why supporting nervous system function may play a key role in a child's overall health and immune response. Your child's immune system, nervous system, and hormonal system aren't 3 separate working systems independently. They function as one integrated unit, what researchers call the neuroendocrine immune supersystem. Think of it like a 3-legged stool. If one leg becomes wobbly, the entire thing tips over. You can't stabilize it by only focusing on the leg that looks fine. So the nervous system serves as the master control, that air traffic controller coordinating all other systems. It regulates immune responses, determines whether inflammation turns on and off, and decides if your child mounts an appropriate defense or an excessive one. So when the nervous system is stuck in that stress mode, immune function becomes chaotic. Some kids become immune suppressed and catch everything. Others become hyperreactive with severe allergies. Many swing between both of these extremes. So this explains why your child stays sick while other kids in the same environment stay healthy. The difference isn't immune system strength, it's whether their nervous system can properly regulate their immune system. Now let's talk about the vagus nerve, the immune system's off switch. So there's one nerve that controls most of your child's immune regulation, and most parents have never even heard of it. The vagus nerve is the longest nerve in your child's body, running from the brainstem down through the neck, past the heart and lungs, and all the way to the digestive system, where actually 70 to 80% of the immune system actually lives. So this nerve acts as your child's inflammation off switch. When it's working properly, it detects inflammation and evaluates the threat, it releases calming signals, and then turns the immune response off once the job is done. Your child recovers and then returns to that baseline health. But when the vagus nerve isn't functioning properly, kids get stuck. The fire alarm keeps blaring even after the fire is out. Chronic inflammation becomes their baseline instead of the exception. So think of it like a car with 2 pedals. The sympathetic nervous system is that gas pedal. It activates that fight or flight and ramps up that inflammation. The parasympathetic nervous system, controlled by the vagus nerve, is that brake pedal. It calms everything down and allows recovery. So many kids today are stuck with that gas pedal pressed to the floor and a brake pedal that barely works. These are the kids who can't kick that sick. But where does it all begin? Birth trauma. So here's what most parents don't realize. The vagus nerve exits the skull through the upper neck, right where the birth trauma tends to occur. During birth, especially with interventions like C-sections, forceps, vacuum extraction, that delicate upper cervical spine experiences the forces it wasn't designed to handle. So this physical trauma creates what we call subluxation, a combination of misalignment and neurological interference in the upper cervical spine. It disrupts the vagus nerve's ability to communicate properly between the brain and the body. So click the link in our bio to learn more or send us a DM. Please share this video with anyone you know who needs to hear this, friends, family, or Facebook groups. You can give our office a call at 518-599-0067 or visit our website for more information at cdsechiro.com. Our team is here to help.